Hey guys, so in this video we have with us Mr. Mayank Agarwal, who despite being from mechanical engineering department was able to crack Google. Yes, he got an SD internship offer from Google despite being from the mechanical engineering department. And in this video we're going to talk about how he did that, how he prepared for Google, and how he was the only person from all the non-secretarial branches to get an offer from Google. We're also going to talk about what set him apart from all the other candidates who interviewed at Google, and we're obviously going to talk about the interview experience he had at Google as well. So please watch this video till the end. And so without further ado, let's get on to the video.
Yeah, I'm Mayank. I'm from mechanical engineering and I'm also doing financial engineering as well. And I'm from Nagpur, fourth year.
Okay,
And
got it.
like I recently went to ICPC
Wow,
regions. So that's it.
wow. Okay, so you're from mechanical engineering, and many people have this misconception around these big tech companies that you have to be from computer engineering, computer science. So, what do you think about this, and how can we change this notion?
Yeah, see, for mechanical engineering and computer science, this is not a misconception. It is a reality, right? Like there are many companies who do not open for mechanical.
Hmm,
And like Google, Uber, this was the first time that they opened.
hmm,
So, for if you like, if a mechanical guy wants to get an opportunity compared to the CS guy, then he should be better than it. Like, if suppose imagine yourself as a company and uh, you have two options. One is from mechanical and one is from computer science, and both have same level of intelligence. So obviously, the companies will prefer computer science student.
hmm.
So if you want to go ahead of them, then you need to be better than them.
Okay, got it. And
That's the point.
okay, got it. And so, to be better than them, so you have to like, especially for these companies, you have to do competitive programming. You have to
Yeah,
get those ratings. You have to go to ICPC,
yeah.
do all those things, and you have to do them better
No,
than
the, I,
ICPC is
hmm.
not a compulsory thing, but yeah, like you have to do that competitive programming thing. Okay, so got it. So we talked about competitive programming. So when did you start coding, and also how did you get into competitive programming despite being like from the mechanical engineering department?
Yeah, I started competitive programming from my fourth semester. Like I have taken algorithm courses as an additional, so and I don't have anything to do. So I started competitive programming for fun because it was like an hobby to me. The aim wasn't that I have to grab and code in touch when I started. I just like it and I started doing competitive programming. And then the next year, like in my third year, we don't have CDC, so my target was ICPC. So then for the ICPC, I was doing mainly competitive programming and building a bit.
Okay, and like, can you please mention your ratings, like whatever you have done, so that people can have an idea like about the
Yeah.
amount of competitive programming that you have done?
Yeah, like I used to do competitive programming daily in my fourth, fifth semester. So, like I am masters in code forces, and I have done almost on all platforms. Like I have tried all the platforms, and I find code forces is the best platform for the competitive, especially for ICPC, because on the code chef, if you compare code chef with code forces, so
Hmm.
in code chef there are questions based on more on the algorithms, while on code forces the questions are both more based on the mathematics, and I like the mathematics part more. And in the ICPC, uh, for ICPC, code forces help more. So I
Hmm.
used to do in code forces. Then I also you gave Google competitions like Kickstart, Code Jam, then Facebook Hacker Cup, and like all of the competitions that are present, I gave almost all of them.
And can you mention your ranks in some of them, like if you can, if you want to?
Yeah, like I had a master's in code forces.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't do code chef much, but it's I went till 6 star, then I downgraded. I stopped doing so, and I don't remember actually my ranks.
Like in Kickstart or Hacker Cup,
Uh,
if you could tell the ranks.
yeah, like in a Kickstart, I had something around 150 or 160 rank. For Hacker Cup, I had reached to the third level. I think yes.
Okay, got it. Got it. So you've done a lot of competitive programming, and do you think competitive programming is absolutely necessary for getting into these big tech companies? And also, is it
Yeah,
necessary to be a master or candidate master in that aspect?
for getting into tech companies, all the companies are conducting coding tests,
Hmm.
and they're selecting on the basis of coding interviews, and all of them are based on data structures and algorithms. So obviously, if you do competitive programming, you will do better. Like I am selected for software engineering, and
Hmm.
I have never done software development. I have only done competitive programming. Like I don't know anything other than competitive programming. I didn't have any intern. I just know competitive programming because I know that all the companies what they require is competitive programming. So my intention was clear that I had to do competitive programming. And regarding the level of which we want to do, there is not a limit that a candidate master or a master. Like you should do as much as you can. Uh, for say like for companies like Google and Microsoft, you should be able to solve the code forces questions D or E. So all of the D should be able to solve, and some E questions. It's like that, and it's not there is not an upper bound someone should keep that. Okay, I have to do this much or this much. Like if not Google, there is all other list of companies that are waiting. So that at every step there is a company. So we have to just climb the stairs and do as much as we can.
Right. Okay, so let's talk a bit about your preparation because, like you told, competitive programming is much more about maths oriented, and those kind of questions
Yeah.
do not normally come in like CDC or in the interviews. So, how did you specifically prepare for your interviews for these companies, like before the interview stage?
Yeah. See, for the interviews, specifically for company-based interviews, I have started preparation just 2 months back. Before that time, I just used to do all the only and only competitive programming. So when I began preparations for the company-wise, I was pretty much aware of all the algorithms and all the things. So what I just wanted to do is practice on some websites like InterviewBit and LeetCode. So I was practicing on these websites, and like for Google, the best website is Google Kickstart questions. The Google Kickstart question and Google CodeGen questions, they are more than sufficient to prepare for the Google interview. So I did all of the Kickstart's previous year questions.
Okay, so is there a correlation between the like questions in asked in Kickstart and the questions asked in Google coding rounds? Like, are they similar?
And in Kickstart, there's a lot of variation in the difficulties. Like first question is very easy, and last question is very hard. And if we say the kind of questions they are asked is almost same, the pattern in which they ask is almost same.
Okay, got it. So now you talked about a preparation strategy. Let's go directly into your interview experience. So if you can tell us like what were the various rounds in Google, what were the questions asked if you remember, and also like if you could rate the difficulty of these questions based on competitive programming, say Div 2C, Div 2D, if you could say that would be great.
Yeah, like I had 2 rounds of interviews in the Google. So in the first round, I was just asked earlier. I was asked to go on through the CV, that is obvious questions. Then I was given some questions based on, like I don't remember the topics exactly. Like it was a simple, easy questions, div to C level questions. Were there 2 or 3 questions I was asked, and I did it, and we had to do in the Google Docs, and it was quite easy. But in the second round, I was asked an easy question that I could not do it. I was just asked one question and I could not do it. I did it a longer way. That it involves a lot of algorithms and lot of heavy implementation, while the solution was easy. And what the interview did was, he asked me to write all the codes. So luckily, I wrote the complete code, and there wasn't any errors in the code. So for the second question, he just saw my implementation, that how strong I am at the implementation, because the solution that I gave wasn't optimal, and it wasn't the solution he was expecting either. But through the implementation part, he I think he got impressed and I was get selected.
And
So
one
implementation is very important also.
implementation is there. And you mentioned Google Docs. So I have heard this thing about Google that they write the code in the Google Docs, but they later check it through a ID, I guess. So they check it through test
No,
cases.
no,
Is there something like
no, no. Like from my side, we have to write the Google Docs and they just read it, something like that. They don't tell us whether they are checking through ID or not.
okay, got it. And was there any coding test before? Like obviously Google takes a coding test before the review.
Yeah,
If you could
yeah,
say,
there was a coding test,
hmm,
but like it was a quite easy test, and most of the people have got full marks in that. And I don't think everyone who got full marks got shortlisted. So the shortlisting was mainly based on the, I think, Kickstart and the CV. Uh, the shortlisting was mainly based on Kickstart and CV, and the coding test does not have much weightage.
okay, so when you say Google Kickstart, that means you have to have a very good Google Kickstart rank. So what is the kind of rank that
Yeah.
that Google expects from their candidates?
Eric, one of the alums told me that if you have anything under 200, so it is quite good. And above 200, then chances are less that we get a call.
Got it. Got it. Now you mentioned about your they in the first round they asked you in your CV, but you told that you had just done only competitive programming. So
Yeah,
what did your CV actually look like, and what was the conversation about
my
when they asked you for your CV?
my my CV contains my ranks of CodeChef, my ranks of Code Forces, my ICPC, Google CodeJam, Kickstart, Facebook Hacker Cup, all the coding questions. Then I had done just one project in the CS department on machine learning. I mentioned that, and then I don't have to write have anything to write, so I just build some uh, Sudoku solver and Minesweeper game on my own, and just mention them as a self projects. So I just explained them
And
all about it.
that was sufficient for Google, I guess. Like, did they ask for
Yeah,
that?
mainly Google doesn't much focus on the CV, and they mainly focus on data structures and algorithms,
Okay.
like how good you are at coding. That's it.
Okay, got it. And this is one question that people usually have from Google is that what do you think the interviewers were looking for, like when they were hiring Google interns? Like what is like, and also from the perspective from that you're from mechanical engineering and you haven't studied courses like OS, DBMS, which are usually asked in jobs, I think. So do they
Mhm.
require that in interns as well? So what do you think about that?
No, no, no. For Google, it was pure competitive coding, or you can say data structures and algorithms. Nothing else other than that. Like they have a basic understanding that competitive programming builds problem-solving skills. So if you can do competitive programming, it won't take much time to learn any new things if you have to learn it.
Okay,
It's
got
the
it.
basic. Yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned that you are the only person from non-circuital branches, that is apart from CS, EC, or EE to get selected. So, what do you think? Why
Yeah.
do you think that is? Like, why were you the only person who selected, and like rest of the people were not selected? Was it because of your competitive programming prowess or anything else? What do you think about that?
I think it's mainly because of one of the reason was ICPC, that I went to ICPC regionals, and I don't remember like other than Secretary Branch many people who went to ICPC. Then I had a good Kickstart rank. So these two things were the main because of which I think I got selected.
Okay, got it. Got it. Now, Archer, you
Yeah.
mentioned about your resume that you have just you built a Sudoku solver and Minesweeper. So you built this using C++ only, or did you use other
Yeah,
languages?
no, no. I have built up only using C++, and it has simple implementation running on the terminal. That's it.
Okay, and
The like idea is to learn the behind the basic algorithms. Then all the other designing and this that we can do just by googling. So there's no requirement of that.
okay, amazing.
Main focus of Google is whether you can think or whether you can do data structures algorithms. That's it.
Okay, and if you can remember something from those interviews, like do you think there was a certain kind of data structure or algorithm which Google focuses a lot on? Like for Uber, I've heard that they ask a lot from trees, they ask a lot from graphs. Was for
Mhm.
Google, are there any certain kind of algorithm or data structure that one should focus upon, like maybe DP?
Yeah, see, and DP is a very common topic. I think every company is focused on DP.
Hmm.
So DP is one of them. Like there are all the like Google focus on all basic data structures generally, like segment tree, DP, graphs. Uh, Google interviews, like you can say Google interviews questions and Kickstart questions are almost similar. So all the data structures that are being used in Kickstarts, that are the same data structures that are used in Google interviews.
Okay.
Like all the basic data structures. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So I think this was it. So can you please mention some final tips for all the aspirants out there who are targeting these big companies who want to get into these best companies, and maybe they're not from computer science engineering, they're from other departments as well. So what is your final advice to them?
Yeah, I think that they should more focus on practicing and practicing. Generally, what happens there is a peer pressure that like if someone is not from a computer science or circuital branch, so they will have a department of friends and all. So people can find that their friends are not doing competitive programming, so they don't get motivated.
Hmm.
It is one of the issue. So I think they should focus more on practice and practice in competitive programming, and they should not set a fixed benchmark that okay, I have reached this level or this rating, so I have to stop. Like they should always target higher and higher. So it if they can do competitive programming, so there won't be any problem during CTC.
Okay, and can you maybe give some tips on how to increase their rating? Suppose they're at 1600, 1700, and they're stuck at that range and they're trying to go up with that, but they're not able to. So can you please give some tips about that?
Yeah, like the method I used to follow is whenever the last questions I cannot able to solve, I used to search all the questions by topics and the same difficulty levels
Hmm.
in courses, and then I used to solve the same type of questions more and more. Like at least 3 to 5 questions I use like to solve. So that helps in always improving, and always read editorials for all the questions, whether you have solved it or not, and at least try to solve at least 1 or 2 questions that you couldn't solve during the contest, but after the contest you should solve at least one. So it will always help in improvement.
And do you suggest using A2OJ ladders to these people? Like, did you
Yeah,
solve A2OJ?
A2, yeah, I also E2G ladders are very good, but I will suggest more focus on the contest. Like you should do A2OG ladders when you have nothing to do, nothing else to do. Like if you have contests you have to do, should give more and more contests and practice the current contest questions. When you are done with it and you don't have any contest within 2 3 days or anything, then you can do A2OG ladders.
Okay.
Otherwise, more and more contests should be done. Like I have seen many people who don't give much contest and do just practice and practice and practice. So that doesn't build up the speed. You need speed. Speed is very important during the competitive programming, and speed will develop only when you code under the pressure, and pressure becomes only in the contest.
Right.
So
Okay.
giving more and more contest is always important.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, I think this was it. So thank you so much, Mayank. Thank you so much for coming to my channel for this amazing podcast. And I think the people are going to derive great value from this and have great insights on how to tackle Google as a company and maybe crack Google as well, like you did. Thank you so much. And I hope you liked it as well.
Yes, yes.
Hello, thank you.